Good evening. Welcome to another live stream, live from sunny and hot Abruzzo. How's everybody doing? I'm Dave from home in Italy. For those of you who don't know, if you're new to the channel, then welcome. And if you're not new, then thank you for coming back. Hope everybody's doing really well tonight. Tonight we're having a little bit. It was going to be a big one, but it's going to be a little bit of a rant. only a little rant, and then we're going to have the a Q&A session, which is a question and answer session, if you remember. So please, this works with a bit of input with some questions, if you know what I mean. I've got a few questions that I'm going to cover that people have sent in by email. So always remember that if you do want to send some questions in while they're on the top of your head, then send them in at any time, along with stunning photos and all the rest. Then at least I can read them out then when it gets to these Q&A sessions. So we've got that, a little bit of a rant. It's a mini rant. It was going to be a bigger rant the other day, but it's sort of a mini rant, and then we'll get on to things. What else am I going to say? That's it. That's all I've got to say, actually. No, I've got lots of notices, a few notices to tell you. They will start. Well, I'm going to start first of all with we've got stunning photograph of the week. Thanks for that. A little bit late. We've also got the Italian word of the week. But unfortunately, we don't have Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials. Yeah, really sorry. That's because it's Domenico's son's. What do we call it here? It's Cresma here. That's Tony, the producer. Tony, you know,
that's a long one, isn't it?
It is. It is quite a long one. We need to try and time these things right. You know, like when I say something funny, then you put the claps.
Well, you're never funny normally, are you? So it takes you by surprise sometimes.
Loving the England t-shirt. Loving the England t-shirt.
Yes.
And England are playing football, not soccer. Football tonight. So Tony is half England and half Kazakhstan. Are they in? Do they have a football team?
No, I watched them yesterday. I had a friendly yesterday against Hungary. They lost 3-1.
Yeah.
Well, they was doing all right till they had somebody sent off.
Right.
Stammerovkov sent off, so it wasn't good.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. Anyway, so it's Tony the Kazakh in his England shirt. So we don't have Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials because it's Domenico's son's confirmation. That's what it's called, Cresima in Italian. So unfortunately, they're not here tonight. But I will bring Tony on because I've got to have a little bit of a go at him shortly. That's part of the rant sort of thing. But I'll come to that in a second. What else am I going to say? The tours. Obviously, tours finished I think it was last Tuesday. But September and October dates are still available. So if you do want to come along September or October, then make sure you go into the website www.ahomeinitaly.com and then click on the tours page and just book your space because they're absolutely fantastic. It's a great time of year to come along as well. This is the last group that we had in Lama di Peligna. September and October especially, beautiful times. October, you get more of the autumn colors, but it really is a great time to visit. We have a wonderful lunch in this place near to Pacentro. Here's the guys in Faro San Martino. I know a lot of you have seen these photographs before, but those who haven't, come along on our tours. They're fantastic. We get to see lots of different properties to match all sorts of budgets. We get to see, last time I think we saw 10 towns and about 25 properties. We go to places like this, which is Faro San Martino, the Green River. This is everybody looking fed up and too hot in Sulmona. I love it how somebody always gate crashes our photographs. I've no idea who the guy is on the far right with the white hat, but he joined us anyway. And here's the gang then at the Dal Pagano restaurant in Palombaro. So we do have a lot of fun. So please come along and as I say, go into the website, book your space. Those are the dates there: September 24th and 25th, October 22nd and 23rd. and they are available to book now. I think we're almost coming up to a coach load. So yeah, get in there as soon as you can. What's the other notice I was going to say? I can't remember. Tony, let me just pull you up on something first, because I want you to. This was going to be part of the rant, but it's not. Yeah. It's not a rant so much at you. No, it's a rant in general.
Well, that makes a change then.
It makes a change. So the last video that I put on last Saturday,
yes,
which was the one in the Newtown Monte Nero Domo, if you remember. Yep. Brilliant property, isn't it?
Hey, you actually said it right this time. Very good.
I did.
You're getting better.
It took me about 6 takes, but I don't know why I kept calling it Monte Tenner's something. Anyway, I eventually got there. Fantastic property. We had some great interest in it, and I've sent the person who was first on the list a message to say you're on the list. And so if you have been asking about that property, have a look at your emails, folks, because you may find that there's an email from me in there. Yeah. But while we were there on hello to my favorite people, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, it's Jacob Cantu, who's got 2 properties, one in Faro San Martino and one in Civitella. Great people. In fact, Jacob, we need to get you on here as well at some point, so hopefully you will do. What was I saying?
No idea. I wasn't listening.
So while we were in Monte
Nero Domo,
yeah, and I wrote on the video, on the property video, that we were met by a wolf.
Yes,
you remember when we were on our way to the town, and and the armchair experts of this world on the internet said it is definitely not a wolf; it's a husky. What have you got to say to them, Tom?
Total rubbish.
Seriously, you think?
Seriously,
you're still sticking to that? This is a wolf.
It is a wolf. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. Everybody was saying, well, not everybody, but a number of people. And now I know the European wolves are different. It does look like everybody was saying it was a husky.
No, it's not. No.
I've not. The huskies that I've seen don't.
If you to be honest, you've only got to go on the internet and pull up Abruzzo wolves, and you'll see a whole array of different looks, right? Even black ones as well as. So it just because it doesn't look like, if you like, just for saying an American wolf in Yellowstone
Park. Tony, careful.
Well, no, but they are, don't they?
What are you trying
American, that's what everybody looks at of being a proper wolf, doesn't it?
What are you trying to say about our American friends?
No, I'm not saying anything about it.
Are you sure?
But
careful how you tread.
No, I'm not.
You'll be getting trolled.
Trolled again. Or tried.
So yeah, trolling is a slang word in English for getting drunk, just in case you wouldn't know what to say.
I'd sooner get trolled than trolled.
So you're sticking by this being a wolf?
No, it's definitely a wolf. It's definitely a wolf. Yeah, I mean, you've got to expect, because they were reintroduced from originally Czechoslovakia, now Czechia,
right,
etc. So, and they come down from the north and all the way down. So they're going to be, some of them going to be interbred with large dogs or whatever along the way. It's bound to happen. So, but that is a wolf. I've seen enough of them. I've seen quite a few here.
So if I start responding to some of these comments, which I don't normally, and I say that Tony, the Kazakh producer, has said it's definitely a wolf.
It's definitely a wolf.
You're going to stick to that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, just to my expertise, although we don't get them in the UK, but I was part of the wildlife side of volunteer within the UK, so I do know what wolves are supposed to look like. And that's
so you were a volunteer wolf in the UK?
I used to go around with a mask. Go, arr, arr, everybody.
So you reckon all these people that have written on that is all talking rubbish, and what you're basically saying is Americans have no idea what they're talking about. Well, I think that's nasty.
No, I didn't say.
No, Tony, I'm sorry. I have to take you off there because I don't think it's fair with the. Okay,
I didn't say that at all, Mr. Benton, did I?
So if anybody disagrees with Tony that's on here live, then put it on the chat.
All I'm saying, American wolves look totally different to European wolves.
Right.
Totally different.
And you're sticking to that, and that's it.
I am sticking to that, yes.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that. There you go, folks. You've heard it here. Tony was a volunteer, whatever he did with wolves in England, even though there is no wolves in England. He volunteered himself anyway, just so he could go out and get trolleyed, which everybody knows now that means getting drunk. Anyway, thanks, Tone. That's absolutely fantastic. As usual, your input is always really welcome in these shows. So everybody, that is a wolf, and we're not going to listen to any different. We were very brave. So all of you that said that it was just next door's dog, even though I did find some of the comments quite amusing, Tony disagrees with you, and that's it. That was a dangerous, rare Czechoslovakian wolf, and that's what we're sticking to. So, how did you know it was Czech, by the way? Did they speak a different language?
They had to be reintroduced, so they had to get wolves from somewhere. So there's quite a lot that was reintroduced from Czechia. You
do know, surprise. You know a little bit too much. It's a bit weird how much you actually know about wolves.
Don't you remember that one down at the bottom of the hill at that house?
Yeah, that was a weird. That became somebody's dog.
Well, it was until it joined a pack. It's now not there because it got big. Because when it was a puppy, it was quite nice running up downside of your car, but now it got really, really big and it disappeared.
Oh well, there you go.
Very occasionally you do see it return at night, but it joined a pack.
There you go. Thanks for. Do you howl on your balcony?
Oh.
Okay, so there you go. That's that. Wow, tours are done for the season. They are until September and October. Mark and Nada, we'll see you guys definitely on the next tour. Okay, so that's Tony's little wolf story out of the way. Buonasera from Rich and Deb and Vittorito. I cannot wait for the day that Rich and Deb do their meet the home buyers, and they know why I'm saying that, and I know why I'm saying that, and everybody else will know why I'm saying that when it happens. There you go. What else have we got to do? Oh, we've got the Italian word of the week. This is a good one, actually, and I think the creator of Italian word of the week, who is obviously Duncan, and he actually gave me this word as well, which I was thinking of different things to use, and it is quite a good one, and it didn't realize it was actually slang. Love your channel, Double Glazed Dave from South Africa. Love you guys too. Thank you for joining in. So this week's Italian word, sort of a word, and you're going to hear this quite a lot when you're in Italy, is this. So this is pronounced in many different ways. I'm going to see if Tony. You're laughing, Tone.
I'm surprised you put that one up.
I know, but it is quite good. So
it is quite good, yeah.
Give us a way how you can use it. Give us a.
Well, if you say something to me,
how to pronounce?
I could disagree with you and say, but.
Yeah, I suppose you could. But if I said to you,
well, I don't know.
Exactly. But. And that's exactly what it means. It's slang for I don't know. Yeah. But there's different versions of it.
There is different versions.
Different lengths of saying it and all the rest of it. So we've heard tones. Yeah. But it is slang for I don't know. And people will sometimes they'll go, but sometimes they'll go, but sometimes that's how it's pronounced. But it is slang. And I know a couple of people who have actually been using it thinking that it's good Italian, and it really isn't. It's just a slang way of saying there isn't even a word in English. It's an idle way of saying I don't know. So if somebody says, are you going out for a drink tomorrow? But it can be like that, or it can be a really long but. So it is a strange one, but you will, if you hear lots of people making strange noises and it sounds like that, then you know now what it means. And it basically means I don't know. And it's usually got a shrug of the shoulder, but the shrug of the shoulder will happen just before they say the word. So there you go. That's this week's Italian word of the week. I tell you, this show, it just gets better and better. And you're all going to be completely fluent by the time the year 2098 hits us. You'll be completely fluent with completely useless words. So that's that. Then I'm going to tie in photo of the week, stunning photo of the week. I'm going to tie that in a little bit in with what we're going to be talking about today, or what one of my little rants is going to be. So I'll do the Italian, the stunning photo of the week while I'm having part of my rant. So I often say when people talk about, by the way, start getting your questions ready. Don't type them yet. Give us another 5 minutes and then start doing it. The two color eyes seem like a husky. Don't know if wolves have them. Haha, Tony, somebody's questioning you there. Anyway, even though one of the eyes did seem to be more damaged than it was sort of white rather than blue, but I don't know. Anyway, a lot of people. My rant is going to do with one person in particular, but also in general on YouTube. But one of the things that we hear a lot of is, people go onto, I don't know why they do it. They go onto YouTube, they watch they watch some of the properties that we do, and then they put input in there. And people always do it, and I know you should ignore it, and I do ignore it. And the personal stuff, I don't care. I mean, it doesn't happen as much now, but if there's any personal stuff at all, people saying, your video's gone too long, blah, blah, blah. We all know that we try to get people into houses more than we are YouTubers, if you want to say that. The YouTube channel happened as a result of the kind of things that we do. So all of that kind of stuff I'm not bothered about. But when people give their, as we say in England, 10 pence worth and write stuff, and they haven't got a clue. And most of the people, probably most of them, haven't been even outside of their bedrooms, let alone anything else. But it does start to get you after a while. But one of the things that I'm getting to my rant. I'm not there yet because this is a nice thing. One of the things that somebody write, we love Tony. Unbelievable. Anyway, but when it's thrown me off, completely thrown me off now. One of the things when people start talking about villages and they start talking about the towns, and I actually get a little bit tired of reading the same thing that, oh, the village, there's nobody there. Where is everybody? It's dying off. It's blah, blah, blah. I go through it many times in my videos that people don't understand how it works here. Somebody said something on the news today. There was a terrible thing that happened in Northern Ireland. I don't know how many people saw it on the television. A shocking thing that happened yesterday. And there was a guy being interviewed. He was a policeman being interviewed, and he was talking about people commenting and interfering on things that they don't understand. And I know that's completely different to what we're doing on this channel. But when I was listening to this person, I thought that is so true. It's so true. If somebody's been here and somebody knows how things work, then for me, you have a right to, not a right to say something. We've all got rights to say something, but I wouldn't dare talk about a town in the middle of the US, for instance, or Canada or Australia that I'd never been to. I don't know, and I've never even been to the area and never even been to the country. I just wouldn't do it. But I know these people that like to try and start things up do. And one of the things I was thinking about, I always talk about small towns and how I think that they are the heartbeat of Abruzzo and all the rest of it. Well, this Sunday just gone by was Corpus Domini here in Italy, and known as Corpus Christi in other parts of the world. It's a celebration for those of you who are religious. For me, this is where, whether you're religious or not, it doesn't come into it. Whatever religion you are, it doesn't matter. That's not it. To me, it's all, whatever you believe in, that's fine. When I see these small towns and villages carrying on these traditions for years and years and years and years and still doing it, and the young ones coming out, I wish I could put photographs of the youngsters and of them creating these, what I'm going to show you, and doing what they're doing, taking part in all these festivals and things like that that they have in these villages. I think most of you would be shocked, because it comes to this understanding what these towns and villages are really all about. Just because we don't have a KFC or a set of traffic lights or whatever, probably two terrible examples, it doesn't mean that these towns are not going anywhere. And Italy beats in a different way, and the villages beat in a different way. And sometimes even the city folk from here, so from Pescara, they'll be, oh, what are you doing up there in the mountains, and what are you doing up there in the countryside? No, life is, you've got to come here. Life's much better here. No, life down there is what I've come away from. You know, I've come for what I'm seeing. Now, I want to show you this because Corpus Domini, what happens all over Italy, not just here, but this is in little old Palombaro. And now these photographs don't give them justice because this stretches from one church at the bottom of town all the way up to the top usually, or a good section of the town. And the kids come out to help all sorts of people that are involved in the church and just people in general to keep these traditions going. And these designs, I really don't know how they do it. They're all, I understand it's all coloured rice, and they have different designs along the street. So this is from a tiny little village. And this is what I try to get across to people. You don't understand what life is about until you've experienced these kind of things. Because this is a Sunday. This is people that are interested not in just the religious side of it, but also just having a passion for their village and their town. And look what they create when they do these things. And obviously this is done all over Italy. There's some incredible places, incredible designs. And if you look at the ones they do in Rome and some of the other places, they're out of this world. I think Mark's just said that he was, I don't know if he said he was helping there in Capistrano, but you can't, they do take part. It was amazing how many kids were in the Raiano Cherry Festival parade. It's true, Mark. And I was looking at the Raiano Cherry Festival. You know, if I said that to some of my friends that I was going to the Raiano Cherry Festival, they'd probably think there's something wrong with you. You know, some of my UK friends. But people here, they get involved in all these things. And it's so sad when I hear, look at this is inside the church, taken from the top. All this is all like coloured rice going all the way up. And what the priest does basically is walk through the middle of it. And it's because it's a celebration of supposedly the celebration of the presence of Christ in the Eucharist, in the bread. And obviously it's coming up now to people having their Holy Communions. So it's such a big thing here that they do Holy Communions just after Corpus Domini. And all the kids that are doing their communions or have done their communions or just done their communions, they will be next to the priest, and the priest walks through the town and walks through the middle of all of these designs, saying his prayers and all that kind of, and it's just an amazing thing. And when you see these things, what's this one here? I love that Vittorito takes a break in the middle of the day. It's time when we can slow down and relax. It is exactly right, Deborah. We look at things in a completely different way. And it's not because we're lazy. It's not because people don't do anything. It's just part of life. But it's things like this. You think these little towns, and when people give them a disservice, I think it's that winds me up more than anything, is somebody blatantly saying something about a place that people genuinely love. How many of us can actually sit and honestly say that we love and take pride in the places where we live? I'm not talking about your home. I'm talking about your town, your village, your city. And I know there will be some that do, and I'm sure there will be. But, you know, here it's on another level. It really is. And so when I see, look at this as well. When I see some of the things that that people write, it does get to me on a different level. Not from me personally and worrying about what it will do to my channel, because to be honest with you, every comment, good or bad, helps the channel. So it's perfect. If people are actually sitting watching my videos who don't actually like me, then I think that says more about them than it says about me. This is what's important for me. And thinking, you know something, I'm reading this comment and then I'm looking at things like this and I'm seeing what the kids are getting involved in. Not just kids, adults, old, young, teenagers, old people, whatever. It doesn't matter. And you think to yourself, I'm part of something extremely special. So I wanted to get that in. That's a mini rant. I'm not going to rant for much longer, so you can start getting your questions definitely ready. So this ties into photo of the week, which has been sent in by, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, it's either Candida or Candida. So I apologize if I've completely mispronounce your name, but thank you very much for this. She was, I think it's a she. I could be. I'm making a real mess on it. Anyway, thank you very much for sending this in Rocca Scalegna, with the famous castle at the top of the rock. And this was one of the many things that they did for Corpus Domini as well. And I know they usually do this again. They usually find it goes through the old towns and then down to the church. So an absolutely fantastic photograph. So thank you so much. I think it's Candide. I'm going to say that again, for sending this in. I really, 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 really pleased that you sent that in. Fits in absolutely perfect. So that's stunning photo of the week and part of the rant. While we're in Rocca Scalegna, I just wanted to quickly say this Saturday's property video, they're all amazing, and I've got some brilliant places coming up. I really have. I'd also check out Wednesdays. Remember, we still post things on Wednesdays as well. Put a video on, a Domenico video. We are going to be slightly changing Wednesday videos. I like putting Domenico's videos on, some of the agents' videos, but I may go on there a little bit and make a little bit of a reaction type video without sort of adding too much to it. But have a look at that on Wednesday. But on Saturday, the property video is another amazing one, and it's in Rocca Scalegna. So Rocca Scalegna is the famous place with the famous castle. I want to give you a preview of this property because I'm really excited about it. Patreons get to see it tomorrow. So if you're on Patreon, 3 p.m. tomorrow, you will get to see this property. But this is Rocca Scalegna. Look how unique this town is. Absolutely unbelievable town, with the famous castle there and the famous rock at the top. So as you look in the middle of this photograph, this is a bar here. The house is just sort of to the left and down sort of 20 meters from the bar, just to give you a little taste of inside. It's been done out so well. It really has. They've got some amazing vaulted ceilings that they've mixed it in with some modern architecture. It's been restored really well. A beautiful kitchen, which I'm going to show you in a second. This is a beautiful open plan lounge, dining room. The kitchen has vaulted ceilings as well, stone revealed. It really is a superb property. Look at this. Look at the beautiful vaultings as well. The photographs just don't do it justice, but this is fantastic property. So watch out for this. As I say, if you're on Patreon, 3 p.m. tomorrow, you will get to see this one. It's 119,900, 119, so nearly 120,000, including all the fees and taxes and quite a lot of the furniture as well. 3 beds, 2 baths. It's even got solar panels right in the middle of the town. It's got a little terrace as well. Absolutely superb property. So I know I don't usually push that on these streams, but I'm looking forward to everybody seeing that one this week. Okay, do you want to start getting your questions sent to Tony? And I'm just going to give the little rant, and I'll mix some of my questions that people have sent in to me along with yours. My main 2 rants were, there was a lady. I'm guessing it's a lady because the name on the YouTube channel, and you may well have seen her a few times. And if you're listening, then I do apologize for what I'm going to say, because I've ended up hiding you from the channel, because to me it seems like somebody is trolling, or there's something not right. This person wrote on a video probably 4 videos ago, that why don't I put properties on with towns with more than 3,000 or more than 1,000 people with bus services for us coming from America. So she's speaking for all Americans here, that are not allowed to drive in Italy. Well, that's not true. You can hire cars with no problem, and you are allowed to drive in Italy with public transport, because we're not all interested in these types of videos, blah, blah. You may have seen this person wrote this. And so I responded and I said, I do that. We have towns that have public transport. I said, we've done places in Popoli, we've done places in Raiano, we've done places in Sulmona, we've done places in Atessa, we've done places in Casoli. We've just done a brilliant property on a Wednesday. It was an agent video in Prato La Peligna. I said, so you're obviously, we're doing them. So I did try to respond to her. The next message came on another Saturday and said exactly the same thing. So it must be a pre-written thing that this person puts on, and then put it on. I noticed, put it on every single video. So if you're watching, I did try and respond. We do that, but unfortunately, I've now banned your comments off YouTube because it was the same comment being repeated, the same thing being repeated, and when that happens, something strange. I've been reading about how trolls and things like that work, and it's ridiculous. That's my little tiny rant. The other one is not just about our channel; it's about reading other people's channels as well. Is the YouTube channel available properties is up to date? Yes, it is. It's only the recent ones, as in ones that we put on yesterday. And we've got the Palazzo, this fantastic Palazzo that went last week. Sorry, that was done last week. Has just been finally had offers on today, so everybody will be getting emails about that who were interested in that. That's finally been done. But yes, the available playlist is pretty much up to date. It should be bang up to date unless anything's sold today while I've not been in. I'm an American and she doesn't speak for me. That's good to hear. And yeah, so the other one was, and I saw it on other channels as well, and it is this thing of people sort of jumping in and saying that house is not worth that, that's not worth that, and this is more to tell all of you when you're looking at properties and possibly looking at some of these comments, and people say, well, I've seen other houses in Abruzzo, that's way overpriced. And you think, first of all, you've never been here, more than likely never been here. You've no idea what the housing market is. You're dealing with professionals. Even if you say I'm not professional, move me out of it then. If you're looking at other people's channels that are estate agents or whatever they are, then these people know what they're doing. These people know how the pricing system works here. And when people say Abruzzo as a price, I knew exactly which person you were going to rant about. But when people say, Abruzzo as a price, as if to say properties in Abruzzo cost this, that's like saying, oh no, that's far too expensive. That penthouse in overlooking Central Park in New York, because that's how many millions? 20 million? No. You can get a property in same type of property in New York, so anywhere, for half that price. That would be as ridiculous as me saying something like that, and it's. I seem to be picking on Americans tonight, and I don't mean to. It's anybody, whoever writes these things, and people seem to think that Abruzzo comes under one price bracket. So just like anywhere else in the world, there's square meter prices, whether it's in Abruzzo, Lazio, wherever else. But then it goes by the towns, obviously, and some villages are more popular than some bigger towns and cities. So, and we know where they are. That's our job. That's our job to understand that. For instance, Guardia Grelle. Guardia Grelle is, I'm so excited with 191. Can you leak the meter square total? Ooh, should I? To be honest, I don't know. I would say probably going to be about 150, 160-ish, somewhere around about that, I would say. Square meters. It's a superb property. Really is. I would say, yeah, probably around about 150. But I will check that. But no, and I certainly don't want to. I'm not saying judging anybody from wherever they're from. I probably should have started saying about it. Was Tony that started it with the wolf thing. Tony, it's your fault. Your fault. You got me talking now.
Get me involved in it.
I'm talking to I'm not. I'm talking to you as well, Tone. So yeah, be careful when you're looking at properties and things like that, because as I say, most agents check that people are agents, check that they actually understand how properties work themselves, make sure there's some sort of professional, not just somebody starting a YouTube channel and then saying anything should be 10 euros, but people know what they're talking about. So always be careful with pricing, because people automatically think one thing and you've got no idea about how it works. As I say, I wouldn't dare do that if I was looking at a property market in France. I haven't got the faintest idea what the property market is like in France. I wouldn't know where to even start, and I will happily admit that. But if I see some guy walking around some French town, I think, well, that looks a little bit rubbish. That look, God, 100,000 for that? No, that's only worth about 50. Thinking about what I'm thinking about, how can that possibly be true? So, and it happened so much. Like I said, not just on my channel. I was looking at somebody else's channel. I don't particularly like that this person started to use too many AI things, and it's all becoming about negatives. That the channels maybe slipped a little bit, and this person is sort of, when you get titles like "Don't move to Italy," you know, so just to get sort of clicks and things like that. I understand it, and maybe I should start to do things like that. Then the real subject's about nothing to do with that. But when I saw some of the comments for a particular property, I just thought, you're jumping in and no idea. So that's another part of my rant. Last rant. And Darren and Anna, they've asked me something there. They're actually here now. I can't believe you connected. Hi, guys. And I'm going to actually cover that subject as well with white goods and things, Darren and Anna. So I'll come back to you. No, it's Darren. What am I saying? Yeah, it is. No, it is Darren. Yeah. So what's the last thing I'm going to say is when I put the palazzo on last week, I did 2 weekends, the lower part of the palazzo and then the second floor. And there was no windows in these. And everybody was going crazy about the fact there's no windows. How ridiculous is that? Windows are the first things that should go in. You know, people saying, I'm a builder and window, that's absolutely ridiculous. The price is just, that's not right. Without windows and blah, 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 blah. You think to yourself, look, it's different to where you are. It's different. If we didn't put windows in the UK, then yes, the house would fill with water, rot the wood, and all the rest of it. You're dealing with properties that have got huge, thick walls. So if you put any sort of boarding up, you can usually stop most of the water coming in. It's all stone, concrete, and everything else. It's a different type of build. So and windows here are the last things to go in. So if in your country windows are the first things to go in, that's fine. That's your country. Here it isn't. Here the window company want to come when everything's finished, and then they'll come and slot everything in. It's tightened up and it's finished, and that's it. That's how they do it here. Probably because the sun shines most of the time, so we don't get huge amounts of rain. But there's some reason why that happens. So when you see buildings that are half finished, it's not because the families run out of the money. When you see structures that are just up there, grey concrete structures, and nothing's happened, it's not because families run out of money. It's because they're waiting for family members to maybe get married, things like that, then they'll finish them off. Lots of times, grandfather, great-grandfather started building properties to go so far, and that's it. You'll get an old couple that live in the bottom of a 3-story house, but they live in just a little section at the bottom because they built that 3-story house for their kids, but their kids went and lived somewhere else. And they maybe didn't do it up. It's not because they run out of money, it's because the kids said, no, we're getting our own house. That's how it works here. It's different. So just be mindful of these. And I know people will always write comments, and I'm not saying that any of you guys write these comments because I know you don't. And I know all of you are there to back up straight away if somebody starts talking nasty about anything. But it's just something for you to watch and be mindful of when you're looking at other people's channels as well. When these people start doing things like this, it's like the guy I heard on TV today. You're talking about something you have no idea what it's all about. And that's it. Rant over. Okay, Tom. Have we got some? That weren't too much of a rant, was it? It was all right. Huh? Mini rant.
No, you was quite calm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Compared to what it was going to be.
Yeah. That was on a certain day. But anyway, we won't go. Right, so I'll let you. Have you got any questions?
Yes, I have.
Okay, go.
Somewhere.
Go for it. The problem is you might need to read some out to me because I haven't got my glasses. Anyway, I'll look out on the bigger screen. Just while he's waiting, I'll just sit here and I could go on to the question actually. What Darren said. Look at his face. Can I answer Darren's question?
I got one.
Oh, here we go. Can you explain the probate process again? And what to do if one person passes away, it goes to the biological child that said is okay. Right. So thanks, Seb, for this one. This one's a difficult question, but I'll try and answer. But you should always take advice on this and obviously check as well if your country or your state has an agreement with Italy. So basically, the way it works in Italy, if, for instance, me and Silvana, let's give you our example. Me and Silvana, we live in this house. We have 2 children, and if anything happens to me, I'm going to say me rather than anybody else. So if something happens to me tomorrow, and I've moved on to the next world, What happens under Italian law is my part of this property, my share in this property, my 50%, well, I hope it's what Silvana told me it was, my 50% share gets split between Silvana and our 2 kids. That's automatic. That's how it works in here. So let's say one of my kids didn't. Well, today Alana said to me that I'm getting quite boring with these Q&A sessions, so she said I need to start. And she actually came up with a good idea. I'm going off, but she did actually say what we should do is if anybody's interested in a particular town, then you can just write the name of the town, and if I've been there, I'll tell you about it. It's not a bad idea actually. So if anybody does want to do that, we can do that tonight as well. Just a little side thing. But let's say I wanted to write one of my kids, or we wanted to write one of our kids out of our will. You can't do that in Italy. You can only give away. So in the UK, if I wanted to leave the house to the local dog's home, I can do that. Here you can't. You can only leave a small section. So what happens automatically is something happens to me and Silvana, the kids get it. That's it. Goes straight to the kids. That's Italian law. Nothing needs to be written. That's the way it is. Now, becomes complicated. Let's say if, let's say me and Silvana got together, we're not married, and we have children ourselves with ex-partners. That's when things get a little bit, can change a little bit, because in that sort of instance, let's say the man dies, then the person, the man's share, if you're not married, goes to the kids, goes to the man's children, and equally split between them two. It doesn't automatically go to, now you can say, well, I've got it written in my will at home that this happens. So the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that the state, if you're in America, or the country, has an agreement with Italy where you're allowed to have it under the rules of the country that you live in. So for instance, in the UK, we have an agreement with Italy that you can basically leave a will here to say, I want everything dealt with under UK law. When you become a resident, that can slightly change, because in effect, you are sort of Italian as well. There's lots of gray areas. The best thing to do is to write down what you want to happen. Write it. Do not print it. Never print them, because it doesn't mean anything. Handwrite what you would like to happen, okay? And handwrite that you'd like it dealt with in accordance with your will, but also write in your Italian will what you want to happen, so that can be published at a later date should anything, God forbid, happen. Now, if your children want to contest that, they have a year to do that, or if somebody in the family wants to contest it, they have a year to do that. If they don't know, or you don't think they're going to know, or anything else, then the notary will just publish whatever's handed to them. It's not that the notary is going to say, no, Italian law states this. They will publish your last will and testament. As long as it is handwritten, it must be handwritten. Make sure you do that. And if you can get witnesses, even better. Do not print any part of it whatsoever. And make it clear what you want to do, so it can also be translated into Italian. That's the best thing to do. But it really is under individual circumstances. You know, if you're a married couple and you've got kids and you just wanted to go to your kids, that's fine. That's what happens automatically anyway. But don't just presume it can all be dealt with in your country. So I would say handwritten will. Get in touch with, you know, we can advise to a certain extent what you should be doing, and get things like that sorted, because it is really, really important, especially if you own a property with somebody who you're not married to. That is a huge, huge thing, especially if you've got children. But not only that, let's say you're not married to your partner, you bought a house here, something happens, you can print your last will and it will go ahead. And if nobody contests it after a year, you know, obviously you do the document straight away. Nobody contests it, nobody can after a year. However, if you're married, if you're not married and something happens to one of you, then if that person hasn't got, so if your partner hasn't got children, it can then go to brothers and sisters or mums and dads of that person. So it can get really, really sort of tricky. So you must write down, handwrite it, find out if there's an agreement between your two countries, and then get in touch and we'll let you know what you should or shouldn't be doing. Okay, next one, Tom. I've just realized now I'm trying to read that off the screen. I've just realized it's in bigger writing to the right of me. Question, how does the roof arrangement work? For example, I purchased the bottom property like the two houses split palazzo you showed last week. Someone owns the top. Who is responsible for the roof? Great question. The answer is both of you. So if you live in a even if somebody's just got one room at the bottom, then they're responsible. And the way it works is it's worked out on a square meter. So they will be, let's say you're living in a palazzo like that one, and the roof needs to be restored. A geometer will take control of it and say, this is the square meters. This person's got this many square meters, and it's a habitable property. This person's got a garage. This person's got a shop. This person, work everything out and tell everybody who the split is for. So it's the responsibility of everyone, because the roof at the end of the day affects everybody. So yeah. So sometimes it can be quite good when people are worried about living in buildings with mixed sort of different apartments that tend to interlink with each other. Sometimes it can actually be quite good, and especially if somebody owns just something at the bottom that's out of the way, because they're responsible as well. So yeah, that's how that works. I am going to ask, can you drive a moped with an Irish license? You can drive with an Irish license if you're living here. If you've got an Irish, you're part of the EU, you can change your driving license anyway. So people do worry about like renting cars and renting mopeds, and I don't know if you live here or not. If you're renting a car, renting a moped, you've got no restrictions. Especially if you're coming from the countries where most of you are coming from. I don't know if there's any country restrictions for any type of driving license. I'm not sure, but the vast majority of countries, you can come here and you can rent, you can ride mopeds, you can ride cars, do whatever you want. If you live in the EU or the UK, if you move over here, then you can swap your license automatically without doing your driving license again. If you're coming from outside of the EU, such as the US, Canada, any places like that, then to get your license, you do have to do your test again and that sort of thing to get a license. And we are hoping there has been rumors for a number of years now that that's going to change. At the moment, it is still like that, but there's no restrictions for you to drive. With an Irish license, you just change it, or if you're renting, then you can just do it. But you cannot buy a car. You cannot buy a car unless you're a resident here. It doesn't matter even if you're an Italian citizen. We had a guy that's an Italian citizen, bought a holiday home, and he said, I'm going to buy myself a car now. I said, you can't. Just because you're an Italian citizen doesn't come into it. You have to be a resident here, and then you can buy a car. And it is similar in most countries, because most countries you can't get insurance unless you're a resident of that country. So in the UK, it's a sticky thing, because you can actually buy a car if you can use somebody else's address to buy a car, but then when it comes to getting your insurance, you can't get insurance for it because you're not a resident of the UK and you've got a driving license from somewhere else. So you must be resident to buy a car here. You don't have to have an Italian license to buy a car, but you must have residency. I'm going to answer Darren's question, because he said the best place. Sorry, I'll come back to that one, Tom. Best place to purchase white goods. What I would say, and I think it's the Darren who I'm thinking it is. I would say the best thing for you to do online. I was going to show people today online how good online things are here, because people worry about, where can I get a washing machine? Is it easy to get one? Is it? Of course it is. Dead simple. You go online, Media World, what's it called? What's the one I'm thinking of, Tony? Electronic. What's it called? The shop? Euronics. That's
Euronics.
it. And the other one, Euronics and Uniero, isn't there? Places like that. So you can, all of these places, you jump online, you can order them the same as anywhere else in the world. I was going to do a quick thing on that, but I don't think me sat here on the internet is really very entertaining. But I would say for you, Darren, because you come out, if it's the Darren I'm thinking, and you come out here and both of you have just left everything in the UK and you're coming here for 2 months, you're going to live here, which is amazing. I would say head towards the airport, purely because there's lots of different shops all together. So go towards the airport, a place called Sambuceto, spelled Sambuceto, Sambuceto, basically at the end of the runway at Pescara. And if you go there, there's every shop you could want down there. So you've got, if you want DIY equivalent to Homebase or B&Q in the UK, it's called OBI. There's Leroy Merlin there, where you get loads of things. So there's loads of sort of tons of shops down there. You've got Media World down there. You've got Euronics and all these that are just like like the UK version of Currys and all those types of places. So I would say to go there purely because you'll get there, and every type of shop that you'll be used to, you will find there all together, right, rather than sort of finding the odd one here, there, and everywhere. Even though they are everywhere and you can go on the internet, I would suggest go there. So just look for the Zona Commerciale in San Bucetto. Just head for the airport, head for the end of the runway, or put OBI in San Bucetto. When you get to Obi, you'll see all the other places all around you. There's loads of them. You can buy fridges, washing machine, everything that you could possibly need, and you can usually pick them up there and then if you need it. Okay, Tone, have we got another one? I'm just having a look what somebody. Okay, so this is Pete. It's Pacentro. Pete, everyone, how are you doing, Pete? Are you back in Pacentro? Hopefully you are. As a non-resident, can I be buried in a cemetery in Italy? Pete, you're not going to die. And if you do, we're going to make a statue of you and we'll just leave it on the top of the Maiella. Can I be buried in a cemetery in Italy after I die, of course? That's a great question, Pete. And I think, I don't know. I don't know is the answer to that one. And I'm not even going to take a guess because...
You're stupid, aren't you? Hey?
What a strange little interlude. Well, I am. Well, what I will say is when my wife's uncle passed away, he was brought, even though he's Italian, he was a UK resident, brought back here to be buried here, but that was in his place of birth. So I can't believe it, Pete. Why did you do that to me? You got my WhatsApp number. You could have sent me a message on WhatsApp. I don't know. Great question, Pete. Remind me on WhatsApp or on email, and I will find out the answer to that, and I will let everybody else know because that is a great question. I'm gonna guess at yes because I can't imagine that you'd have to take your. I hate talking about things like that, but remove your person to another country. But yeah, ask me the question and on email, and I will definitely find out the answer. Okay, any more, Tone, or is that it now? You're happy now? Yeah, you're really happy, aren't you?
I am now, yeah.
Yeah?
It's made my night.
Yeah. So while he's finding another question that's going to stump me, that's what he's doing. That's why they're not coming on the screen quick. He's looking for the hardest ones. Stump the chump. I'm going to answer this question because this is quite an important one, this one. There was a gentleman that wrote to me and he said that he was buying a property in Umbria. Things weren't going particularly well. It was going on for a while. And in the end, the straw that broke the camel's back, the notary said that he wasn't going to pay the owners straight away after the signing. And he said that he'd done loads of research on the internet, never seen anything like this before. And he completely got cold feet and decided not to purchase. If anybody comes across this, and unfortunately, I told this guy as well that you backed out actually for a wrong reason. And if anybody's come across it before, where the notary that you're using has said that he's not going to pay the buyers until things are ready, and then he'll give them the money afterwards, and you take possession afterwards, and all the rest of it, they're actually protecting your interest there. And there could be some reasons why they've done that, and it could be because maybe you're buying from a company or something like that. When you buy a property in Italy, and you go to the signing, and you go to the notary signing, everybody pays straight away. Everything's sort of usually if you're here, you'll take a banker's draft, and everybody signs over. You get the keys, and everything's fine. Now, when you send money into the notary's account, as 99% of our clients do, we get people to send the money into the notary's escrow account so it's ready for when the signing comes. What happens is you sign on the day, and there's an amount of time. It can be up to 30 days. Notaries don't usually take that long, and our notary is really quick, but it can be up to 30 days maybe in cities where notaries are busy before the registration happens. So what happens is the notary will hold on to those funds until the registration's happened, because in the very, very, very unlikely circumstance where something happens to the property before it actually gets processed, before the what can I say, before the registration takes place, there can be a real problem because you've handed the money over. But let's say that there's an impending bank hold going to go onto that property, and it happens just at that time before registration. It can be a huge problem because the money's being released by the notary and the registration can't happen. It's extremely rare, and the chance of it happening is very, very slim, but nobody can say 100%. And it could have been that in that case, the notary was protecting, especially if you're buying from a business. If you're buying from a business, builders or anything like that, you would definitely not do it. You would instruct the notary to hold on to the funds. And that's what we do when people come, or if somebody comes and they want to use the house straight away and they want the keys straight away, obviously we have to do it the old-fashioned way. The chance of anything going wrong is really slim anyway. But we always tell the notary, or ask our notary very kindly, and we get on with the brilliant staff that they have there. And we'll ask them to register it straight away. So there's no question of any of that happening. But what people don't know, because you guys don't see it, is we won't allow that to happen. So we take actually possession of the home, but we will make sure that they're paid afterwards, because I don't want that risk as power of attorney. And lots of people, and the vast majority of Italians, have no idea that that's what happens. So in this particular case, and it was somebody, I think it was Paul, Paul that sent the questions in, and he was worried and he backed out because he thought the notary was up to something dodgy. The notary was actually doing him a huge favor and doing it correctly and saying, no, we'll register it first and then you get the funds. So, but you will have, I've not met one person yet that's ever happened to, including us when we bought properties in the past. And when we bought this property, that was never offered to us. But once I knew about that, then to me, that's an important step. So that's something to. So Paul, if you are watching, I know I did email you back, but it was such a shame that you backed out on that because of all your other stresses. The notary was actually protecting you in a big way then, because he could have just written in the contract that you're giving him, you're allowing them to release the funds before registration, which is a normal thing. Don't get me wrong, everybody does, or 99.9% do, and it's 99.9% that you'll never have any problems. But there's always that 0.1. So he was actually protecting you there. Okay, Tom, have you got any more? We're 7:58. Look at the face. That's his looking for the photo face. Not a photo, looking for the question. Dave, can you help with buying a specific property? I have a property to complete the building, asking for a friend. It's Troy. The problem we've got, Troy, I'll be complete, and I can be completely honest with you. I know I can. We don't do a finding service because obviously we have things like Patreon, so we have to be completely. Some people will contact me and they'll say, "We're looking for a house, or is this house still available?" And if it's not, have you got something like it? Or if you do get something like it, so if you get something that's detached with a swimming pool, with an olive grove, if you get something like that again, can you let me know as soon as possible? So it sounds bad, and sometimes people contact us and say, can you do this and look out for these properties? But if I do that, I'm doing a disservice to all those people that are Patreons, because they're all waiting for the same thing. And not only that, I think any agent that says that they will do that, or any property finder that says that they will do that, I don't believe they can either, because at the end of the day, if you've got 10 clients all looking for the same thing, who are you going to give preference to? How are you going to do that? So we don't give preference to anybody because we can't. Well, no, of course we can, but we do it on a first come, first served basis, because to me, it's the only fair way to do it. And even if I've got 20 people, if I've got 100 people on a list looking for a property, there's going to be a good chance that more than one of those are looking for the same thing. Who do I ring first? So in the end, you end up ringing everybody and saying, look, here's the property, whoever comes back first. So that's why we do it the way we do, and that's why we do the way we do through Patreon. Troy, if it's something specific and you know a particular property, obviously that's different. If you've seen a particular property, you know to get in touch anyway. But the way we formed this business, and some people like it, some people don't. because they think there should be some auctions, should be allowed to happen on properties. I don't agree with things like that. To me, it's first come, first served. Then I can be sure that I say to everybody that's on Patreon and everything else, just like the property that we've got on coming on this week, it goes on Patreon at 3 p.m. It goes on YouTube at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Everybody knows when it's on. Everybody sends emails to info@homeanity.com. We look at the first one. We literally, on a Monday morning, unless it comes from Patreon, but on a Monday morning, we make the list of everybody that's contacted us, put them all in order, contact the first person as soon as we can, contact everybody else to say that you're in line, and then it goes down the line if the first person doesn't want to buy, and so on and so on and so on. And that's how we do it, because it's the fairest way to do it. Do you know someone or know of someone who rents what we call rent wreck? But they're older cars for a long-term use close to Palombaro. There used to be a guy in Sulmona, and I heard he got so busy that people couldn't get hold of him. And somebody else hired in Pescara, and I can't for the life of me remember who it was, and they'd found somewhere. I've taken a screenshot, I'm sure I did, because I found it. It was an advert for somebody in the Sulmona area, and I know that's not Palombaro, but you could pick them up from there and bring them over here with no problem. So yes, I'm not sure if they're wrecked, but they'll certainly be cheaper than the other ones. Contact me. I'm not sure, Steve. I don't know who you are, but if you contact me on the info@homeanitaly.com, and I will have a look to see if I can find this. Because I did take a screenshot of it because I was interested in this contacts. I know lots of people like to do that. I was also speaking to another couple who they're here now living in Palombaro, so I will speak to him as well, that actually they lease from France, believe it or not. And as long as you're not resident, but let's say you want something for a month, 2 months, or 3 months, he said that it worked out better leasing a vehicle. And there's a company you can lease from, and I'm not quite sure how all of that works. But again, I'll get the info and pass it on, and obviously you can look into it with no problem. Okay. After what was this one? What was this one, Tom? Mark and Nader. What was that? After all, we're watching you on a Wednesday night when we could be in our pool. We could be in ours if there was water in it, but there isn't, so we can't. Is that it, Tony? Is that everybody? Have we finished?
Yeah. Just
are you sure?
Putting some bits up. Yeah.
Oh, somebody's put something on here. Mark and Nader, rental car, Pescara, Auto Epic. Can we put that on? Oh, you put that on. Yeah, Giulio. No idea who this person is. I'm not saying that they do, and I'm sure Mark's not either. But please contact. He's the cheapest I've found in 1.5 years. There you go.
1.5. 1.5.
It must be. Yeah. Because I suppose you would have to write it 1.5, wouldn't it? Yeah. Stop being nasty, Tony.
You could actually write 1.5 years.
Stop being nasty to Mark. Mark's a very good friend. Don't let him in Capistrano, Mark. Don't keep him out. When Tony wants to go to Capistrano, leave him locked out. We're getting to see the real side of Tony, aren't we, tonight? Definitely. It's that England T-shirt. We're just nasty.
Yeah, I'm building up.
We're playing tonight. Yeah, we're playing tonight. Can't wait.
Yeah.
There is still a guy in Sulmona, 300 to 350 a month, newer cars. Oh, that's Potential Pete. Potential Pete, if I could ask a favor, if you've got the details, if you could send it to me. I know some people may contact you direct, but if you could send it to me anyway, and then anybody that asks, we can spread the word. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that's all they're going to be. Just see if I've got anything. Oh yeah, somebody just asked me about Lean on Me service, how it works. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but basically, if you find a property that is that you found it's a private sale, anything like that, and you just don't know what to do, where to get started, contact us, give us the details. We'll give you a quote and tell you how much it would be for our services, so we can help anybody that's looking to buy a property. And let's say you've already negotiated with somebody, you've got the price. If you're buying through an agent and you're already starting through the process, but things are just not going right, or language is a barrier, and you want certain services, let us know. We'll give you a quote for our services to say, okay, well, we'll take over from here, and this is how it is. If you've not contacted the agent yet and you want us to contact and do things, we've got services to do all of that. Where we can take it on as if it's through one of our agents, and we'll just sort of work through the way. I've got a few quotes through for Lean on Me this week. It's been quite busy for that. Anybody watching that sent any emails in the last couple of days, I will be contacting you tomorrow morning to do that. I think that's it, but that's basically how the Lean on Me service works. I think that's it, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you for your usual support. I really appreciate it. Just to let you know, next week, we're actually out of the area on signings next week and the week after, but there'll be no live stream next week. The next live stream, I will start putting the publicity on from tomorrow. The next live stream will be in 2 weeks' time, but it will be on a Tuesday night, not the Wednesday night, just to make things just a bit more complicated. I will put the and we're going to have the B-Man's coming on. The B-Man from Faro San Martino, we're going to have him on. We're going to have somebody else on as well. We're going to have a bit of a catch-up evening. The B-Man's got some things he wants to share. He's been doing some. I don't know if any of you remember Dennis and Vivian from their time. They've been on here a couple of times. And Dennis, the B-Man, literally, as he makes honey, and he's been doing some great things in Palombaro, and people getting to know how all of this type of thing works, how you get the honey and all the rest of it, and it is doing some really, really good things. It's really integrating into the community. He's going to be taking it to the local schools as well, which I think is fantastic. It's sort of and he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart, and to become part of the community. And I think it's fantastic. So he sent me some photographs tonight of an event that he's just had. And I said to him that we'll jump on in a couple of weeks to share some experiences, and hopefully some of you guys coming over may want to have some experiences with him as well. So we'll have a catch up, but it will be the week after next on the Tuesday. But I will put publicity by Monday. I will put publicity on. Okay, so Darren and Anna, just good luck to you guys. I'm gonna get them on the show as well, because I know they're regulars on here. They moved to they're here. They've moved. They've just said goodbye to the UK. We're off, and they're here they bought their superb place in Corfino. So hopefully we'll do a meet the home buyers after that with them as well. That'd be fantastic. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your usual support. Sorry for the moan at the beginning. I'll apologise on Tony's behalf for all the terrible abuse he was given to people earlier. But if anybody contacts me, I will give his address out with no problem at all. You can visit him in the small hours. But thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate all the support, and keep looking out. Look out for Saturday's property. Jump on Patreon so you can get early access tomorrow at 3 p.m. if you want to do that. And yeah, enjoy yourself. We'll be out here in Abruzzo, book a tour, have a great weekend, whatever you guys are doing. Don't forget to support and watch England. That's the main thing at this moment during the World Cup that's coming up. Okay, guys, thank you so much. As usual, really appreciate it. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
It's coming home. It's coming home. Football's coming home.
He had to get the last bit on, didn't he? He just had to do it. See you guys soon.